This is Derek Christian with the Institute for Service Excellence. I'm going to talk about picking out a vacuum today and going through some things to look at. First thing to look at is ratings. One of the things we cover in the home cleaning technician class is there's a couple different ratings on vacuums. The most common one is the Carpet and Rug Institute, which typically has a little seal that looks like this that you'll see on various things. It comes in silver, bronze, and gold, with bronze being the lowest, silver the next up, and gold the best. Carpet and Rug Institute are the people who manufacture carpets. Basically what happened is they got frustrated because consumers were constantly complaining about carpets, and the actual problem was the vacuums weren't cleaning them properly. So the people who made carpets created this institute to test vacuums to make sure they actually work. So the first thing you're going to want to do is look for a CRI seal. Bronze at a minimum, gold is the best. It measures both suction and filtration to make sure that the carpet's actually getting clean. This is a third-party testing. It's done by the people who make carpets, not the people who make vacuums. They don't really have a winner or loser in the game. They just want to make sure that what's being used to clean their carpets does a good job so they don't get complaints about their carpets. Now, as commercial cleaners, there's a few specific things we want to look for. Our vacuums tend to clog up quite a bit. So one of the things you're always going to want to care about is how easy they are to clean. Because no matter how much you train your people, they're going to suck up things they're not supposed to suck up. This particular vacuum's got a really nice feature where you can open the back and clean it out. The other thing, when we get to the bottom, I'll show you how that works down there. This vacuum also has another good feature for commercial cleaners, which is thermal protection. You'll see some vacuums with that built in. Basically what that means is if the motor begins to overheat, primarily because of a clog or the bag is full, that goes off so you don't burn out your vacuum. Another decision you're going to have to make is whether or not you want to have onboard attachments or not. The advantage of the onboard attachments is it's all in one place, and quite a few of them now offer things like where it extends, and you're going to want to see the range on it. For example, I'm going to name a specific manufacturer. The Dyson doesn't always have great range, whereas this you can use to get cobwebs both very high and also go relatively low. So the advantage of onboard attachments is you only need to use one piece of equipment. The problem with it is typically the piece of equipment is going to be quite a bit larger. This weighs about 16 pounds. This piece of equipment weighs 8 pounds, but it has no attachments. So normally what people will do is they'll pair this type of vacuum with a canister vacuum or a smaller shoulder type vacuum to go with it. Both work, it's just a matter of what you want to do. Another thing you're going to want to look at is the size of the bag. You got a couple different vacuums here, and you'll notice that the larger one actually has a smaller bag, because once again, the size of the bag is going to determine how much stuff you're able to fit in there. You're going to have to change this a lot more frequently. If you're going to be using a model where your cleaners only come into the office once a week, probably not a great vacuum, because that bag is going to fill up on them pretty quickly. If they come in every night, this potentially would be a better fit for them. Another thing to look at, this vacuum's really well designed. You see this cord is actually an extension cord. What's great about that is, once again, in our industry, employees do crazy things like run over vacuum cords. Getting a cord rewired in this vacuum here is one where it's hardwired in at the bottom. It's not an extension cord. Typically costs you $30. This cord, if they run it over, you buy a $5 extension cord, plug it in, and you're done. Last thing you're going to want to look at is how hard is it to change the belt and fix clogs, which is what we're looking at the bottom of this one. This model is relatively nice because you can open it up without a screwdriver. Once again, if you need to have a screw to open up something in the field, it's not going to happen. How easy it is to get to the belt and change this belt, because belts are going to break. And then we talked about clogs. Once again, if you get a clog, this comes up, so it's easy to take apart. If you can't field strip a vacuum, it means every time a vacuum breaks, you're going to have to go out and take a new vacuum, which wastes a ton of productivity. And this particular model is kind of nice in that it's got a compartment to hold a spare belt in case anything goes wrong. A couple other features you may want to look for are a lot of the modern vacuums come with multiple speeds. This particular vacuum does both a slower speed and a higher speed. Some people would ask why you want to do the slower speed. If you're doing a lot of older rugs, you don't want to use heavy suction on it because it can actually pull tufts of the rug out. It can pull in the fringe and suck it into the vacuum. Another feature which you have on a lot of the modern vacuums is automatic head height adjustment. This vacuum will automatically adjust. If the carpet is lower to the ground, it'll drop. If it's higher, it'll pull up. Others have a manual adjustment. Some don't adjust at all. So if you take it on a Berber carpet, it's not going to get very good suction because it's not close to the ground. The last feature that I like is this has belt protection, which basically means if you suck anything into it, it's going to automatically stop. There we go. And what's nice about that is A, I didn't trash the belt, but also if that was Berber carpet, if I had sucked up a little piece of Berber on a regular vacuum, it would pull a line of carpet out 10 feet long. Here, it would stop it. Still going to pull up a piece of carpet, but it's not going to be as big. So those are things to look for when looking for a vacuum. Obviously, the more features, the more it's going to cost, so it's a cost benefit. But those are some things to check out. And if you have any further questions, go to our website, ISE Today. Thanks.